Well, I think Fame and Muscle Shoals Music is here because we're fiercely independent. We've been doing business with Bank Independent since the 70s, and to know that they've got our back, it means a lot. We've always been there, and it's always just been a phone call away.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather, live at 5.
It's been another hot, mostly sunny day for many of us across the Tennessee Valley on this Wednesday. Here's a live look at the Arctic Air Skycam Network. Starting in Waynesboro, Tennessee, we're looking at the square here, courtesy of our friends at C&B Linen there in town. 95 degrees in Waynesboro with a dew point of 75 and currently a calm wind. You can see a little bit of high-level cloud cover as we look toward the left side of the screen. That's some blow-off from where there have been a few isolated thunder showers in northwestern and western parts of the county earlier this afternoon. Here's a live look in Cherokee in western Colbert County. This is courtesy of our friends at the Volunteer Fire Department. They partnered with us to make this Skycam possible. 83 degrees. That's from outflow from earlier thunderstorms over northeastern Mississippi. Cooler rain, cooled air rushed out ahead of those, and that propagated over into the western parts of Colbert County, cooling those guys down after they got into the 90s early. We see the live conditions updating to 84 degrees now with a dew point of 76 and a northwest wind currently at just 1 mile per hour. You can see the cloud cover there as we look southwestward from atop the hill on the US, just south of US 72. Cloud cover from the leftovers from the thunderstorms earlier. And in the heat index map, you can see where the outflow is over western parts of northwest Alabama back into eastern Mississippi, where we have heat index values in Red Bay to Iuka only into the 80s. Even below 100 for a heat index value there in Russellville, but elsewhere across a large part of the area, heat index values this afternoon into the lower 100s, and current temperatures here along with Viper Live Doppler radar tell the story. Most of us are into the 90s this afternoon, except for where we did have the rain earlier that was heavy over Iuka, with that heavier thunderstorm this afternoon down to 78 degrees, and they really haven't been able to recover the atmosphere there, but most all of us into the 90s across the area elsewhere this afternoon here across the Tennessee Valley. Satellite and radar composite showing those thunder showers across the area this afternoon. We'll see a few more thunder showers the next few days, but things are going to be very isolated here for the next several days, because even though there's some similarities with the tropical low in the northern Gulf, bringing Gulf moisture, deeper moisture inland, it's not going to come quite as far north across our area as it did back last weekend. So rain chances tick up slightly to end the week, but not as much as what we had back last Saturday or so. Futurecast this evening showing the thunder showers that are left just to the west of our area fading away. We're mainly going to be quiet here for the evening. Partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, dropping out the 90s into the 80s and then the 70s overnight, making the mid-70s, low to mid-70s for morning lows here by daybreak, with mostly clear skies to begin our Thursday. Partly cloudy skies here and a few isolated thunder showers can't be completely ruled out as we head into the afternoon, but chance of rain at any one location is only going to be 20 to 30%. Not looking at widespread activity by any means. Daytime highs tomorrow back into the low to mainly mid-90s across the area. Heat index values into the lower 100s. We're going to have a touch of an easterly flow that may relax the dew points a little bit. So that allows the heat index values to ease down to the lower 100s versus being over 105, 107, approaching 110. But it's still going to be hot tomorrow regardless. And then we're not really going to completely get rid of the heat here for the next 7 days. A few more scatter showers and thunderstorms Friday and on our Saturday here, but we've leaned back away from higher rain chances because that deeper moisture is trending toward being farther south. So we're not looking at the widespread rain and thunderstorms this time with the Gulf disturbance that we had last weekend. Just spotty activity around here through the weekend. And honestly, through the next 7 days, we'll have spotty, isolated daily thunder showers. As we go into next week, that upper level heat ridge looks to strengthen and build back across the area, and that's going to take temperatures up at least for a few days, Monday through Wednesday, before it's starting to look like the heat ridge relaxes and breaks down a bit as we head into the latter part of next week, just beyond the 7-day forecast. We'll see temperatures relax to the lower 90s here on through Saturday, heat index values into the lower 100s, And then the deeper moisture comes back. The heat ridge builds going into the first half of next week. Daytime highs up into the upper 90s by Tuesday and Wednesday, and that's a midpoint average. I would not be shocked if some folks in North Alabama and Northeast Mississippi are knocking on the door of 100 degrees Tuesday and Wednesday, not for heat index values, but for afternoon air temperature daytime highs. Heat index values next week over 105 and approaching 110, and I do think there are a few afternoons in there where the heat index value may exceed 110, especially over northwestern areas of Alabama back into North Mississippi. Mostly clear skies tonight, getting down into the 70s for overnight lows, and then back into the 90s for your Thursday. Here's the 7-day forecast breakdown. I'm going to do it zone by zone for you, starting with southern Middle Tennessee. Specifically, this is your 7-day forecast. And as far as the rain chances, they don't really vary a whole lot for the next 7 days. Isolated thunderstorms in here, a daily chance. They max out around 30% Friday and Saturday. Elsewhere, they're about 20% daily. Lower 90s through the weekend. And then we get into hotter temperatures going into next week. Mid-90s. There may be isolated upper 90s for southern Middle Tennessee. We'll slide down to northwest Alabama and northeast Mississippi. Here's your specific 7-day forecast. Mid-90s here through the weekend, but a touch not as hot Friday and Saturday, back under 95. It looks like isolated storms on the board the next 7 days. But as we get toward next Monday and especially next Tuesday and next Wednesday, we're into the upper 90s for daytime highs. Heat index values near or over 110. And notice there next Tuesday and next Wednesday, we're knocking on the door of 100 degrees for daytime air temperatures, not just heat index values. We'll slide over to the the Huntsville Metro, as well as Athens and Decatur for your 7-day forecast. Low to mid 90s here through the weekend, isolated daily thunderstorms. We hang on to the isolated daily thunderstorms into next week, and just like northwest Alabama, up into the upper 90s for the first half of next week as well, maybe knocking on the door of 100 there a day or two. The good news is extended range data is starting to look like this heat ridge breaks down as we get toward the end of next week, just beyond the 7-day forecast, but close enough that at least for pattern recognition, we can have some confidence in it. We'll be watching that as we get toward the end of next week. That's the Look Your latest 7-day forecast. I'll be back at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock with another check of your local weather.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.